Hey, it's me, Destiny Brandt, founder of It's Destiny Sales Recruiting, and hopefully your recruiter. I wanted to make a video today about appearing desperate in an interview. All the time, I have candidates, executives say when I give them advice on how to put their best foot forward, before, during, and after the recruiting lifecycle, Destiny does this appear desperate. My first point is, what does desperate mean to you? In my definition, desperate means low level transactional types of communication. At the end of the day, this is late stage capitalism. It is a it is a gift to even get an offer to begin with. And so it's very important to realize that the person who is willing to do the most, give the most, is proactive in the way that they build relationships, in the way that they build value, in the way that they loop in everyone within the recruiting lifecycle, is typically the person who's able to build enough trust, respect, and value to get hired. Not only just hired, but hired at the top end of the range. So let's revisit our definition of desperate and think more about how can every follow-up be intentional? How can every follow-up make sense for that person in the recruiting life cycle? I think that a lot of people kind of overthink what it means to build value, in the sense that some people will think, well, I need to constantly be doing something new for every company. And I encourage you, every time that you are building a manual or automated sequence using some of the resources on our website, really dissecting parts of your resume, media that you've built specific to them, campaigns like drip campaigns, cadences, buyer matrix, discovery questions for that persona. Save everything that you build for one company and use it as a template. Even if you are nearing kind of final stages, or maybe you're later in your cadence to warrant an actual interview, if you are a niche candidate, meaning that you've only sold into marketing personas or you've only worked at Series A startups, it is okay to use what you had built customized for a specific company as a generic template. So saying, hey, I know that this was for another startup that I'm in conversations with. However, if it warrants the next call or another conversation, I'm more than happy to build specific things for you out. So only when you decide that a product positioning, a company, the people there are worth the extra effort to make things specific to them, find a way to make that into a template. Start building maybe a Google Doc of like from first touch to 30th touch. How would you engage with a brand new prospect, maybe a company that you had had a conversation with before in the past, and you want to have more of a proactive approach for future headcount, or it's a company that you're currently interviewing with and you want to just make sure during any times of silence that you have extra details, or you are able to show your executive presence or your ability to kind of bring value, get people to pay attention, and then get people excited about meeting you before they meet you and when they are debriefing on who they ultimately decide to hire. So there is no such thing as being too desperate in an interview. The only time I've ever heard this feedback from a founder or a hiring executive is when the candidate is being incredibly self-serving. Hey, I'm checking in, I'm following up. Can you do another call? If you were asking for another call, my kind of feedback or advice for that is always give them what they need to see. So sending an email and saying, hey, Destiny, here's all the discovery questions I'm planning that I ask in general with my sales cycle. You'll see ones that are specific to this buyer. You'll also see a day 0 to 120 day success plan. I'm going to be sending this out to, our employers as a way to get them excited about meeting me. The goal with that would be to ultimately give them an opportunity to meet with you directly, right? So I have a lot of people say, well, okay, I want to give value and there's additional questions that I want to ask. And I'll say, no, why don't you write down all the questions that you're going to ask, you wish you would have asked in that call, or questions that you were wanting to ask the next person in the recruiting lifecycle. Make a really formatted email with external Google links that you can save for other interviews and other projects in the future. And then your call to action is, if you need more detail, if it makes sense to pick up another call, here is my scheduling link. So make sure all of your follow-ups are of value. Ask yourself what companies and what projects are actually worth making it specific to them. Otherwise, challenge yourself to make kind of a template or an example that you can use in sequences, manual emails, or just in your toolkit when you are trying to engage with employers before, during, and after the interview lifecycle. If no one's told you today, you are more than enough. Keep bringing value. Don't forget to drink your water. Cheers to you. I hope money is coming in the future. I believe in you.